Hey everyone. Alright, today's video is going to focus on adding and subtracting decimals that are in word problems. Your objective, I will be able to add and subtract rational numbers fluently. Okay, here are some important reminders, and this part right here, you do not have to write down because we reviewed all of these integer rules in the last video. So again, you do not have to write all of this part down. Remember, when we add the same sign, we just add the numbers and then keep whatever sign they started with. If we're adding different signs, we're basically just subtracting and taking the sign of the quote-unquote bigger number. Remember, when we add different signs, that was also like good guys versus bad guys. I talked about that in the last video, so use that if you prefer that method. And then with subtracting, if we have a negative involved, we just add the opposite. Very important when we work with decimals. We have to line up the decimals. So you want to make sure you write this part down. We need to line up the decimals anytime we add or subtract. So specifically for word problems, we are going to use the UPS check method. The U stands for understand, the P stands for plan, the S stands for solve, and then we're going to check the answer. So I'm going to use this method on the word problems that we see in this video. So take a moment to pause and write down this little grid in your spiral notebook. Alright, so example 1, Mandy is purchasing equipment for soccer. She still plans to buy a light jacket, a uniform, and 2 hairbands. If Mandy pays with a $100 bill, how much change should she receive? So I'm going to set up a UPS check. So the U stands for what we understand. So specifically in this problem, we know that she needs to buy a light jacket, she needs to buy a uniform, she wants to buy 2 hairbands. And then we have this little box right here telling us how much that costs. So that's something that we would want to include in this box. We know that the light jacket, it's $23.25. A uniform is going to be $37.50. And then 2 hairbands, well, we know that each is going to be $2.50. Another thing that we understand, and I'm going to have to write this out to the side, we know that she plans to pay with a $100 bill. And the end result is we want to know how much change she's going to receive. So this is a big thing. This is what we're finally looking for, is how much change should she receive. So let's plan this out. If she's going to buy all of these things, we are going to need to add that together to figure out how much total she's going to pay. Now that would not be the final answer. We're just going to know how much she needs to pay. Final question wants to know how much change she receives. So once we figure out what the total is, we are going to have to subtract that from the $100 bill. So we'll subtract. So we'll take 100 minus whatever that total is. So these are our steps. Now we're going to actually solve, and I'm going to probably be writing more down here for the sake of space. So she's buying a jacket, that's $23.25. She's buying a uniform, that is $37.50. Then 2 hairbands. So I need to make sure I write down $2.50 2 times. Notice I lined up the decimals. Now I'm going to add. 5 plus zeros makes 5. Here I have 3 5s. That makes 15 plus 2 is 17. The decimal just comes down in the same spot. Now, here I have a 3 and a 7, which makes 10. I can't forget the 1, that's 11. plus 2 is 13, plus 2 is 15. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6. So we know that she's going to pay $65.75. But remember, the final question asks, how much change will she receive? So our next step is to subtract. So I'm going to take that $100 bill and subtract $65.75. Notice that 100 does not have a decimal. So it's always understood to be at the end of the last number. It's just like the period at the end of a sentence. So then I'm going to add 2 zeros. So that's what $100 would look like with 2 decimal places. Then I'm going to subtract $65.75. Again, I lined up these decimals. Alright, I have to do a lot of borrowing in this. I can't do 0 minus 5. So I have to come all the way over to this 1. I make that a 0 and this a 10. And I'm going to have to borrow from each one until I get back to this. So now I really have 10 minus 5, 9 minus 7, carry down the decimal, 9 minus 5, and 9 minus 6. So I get $34.25 as the final answer. Now, for the sake of time in this video, I'm not literally going to do the math to check this. I'm just going to talk about how you could check this. So I could add $34.25 plus the total and make sure it equals 100. Or you can go ahead and add up everything she bought and then add in the change, and it should equal 100. All right, example 2. The following table shows the activity in Amber's bank account over the past week. If Amber had $80 in her account at the beginning of the week, what is her current balance after the 3 transactions? So I'm going to set up a UPS check. So let's see what we understand. Okay. So we know all the information in the table. So I'm not going to rewrite all of this for the sake of time. But we know that she had a deposit of $50, and we see the plus sign next to it. So deposit means money was put into the account. It shows that she had $24.75 taken out of the account at Chili's and $60.50 taken out at Academy. We also know that she had $80 to begin with. And we want to know her current balance after the 3 transactions. So we want to know how much money she has in her account now. So that's the big thing. We want the current balance. That's our final thing we're looking for. Alright, so now we need to plan what we're going to do. There's more than one way to solve this. Okay, some of you may say, okay, well I know she has $80, so I'm going to add 50, subtract $24.75, and subtract $60.50. That is one way that we could do it. What I would do is I would add together what was taken out, and I would see how much total was subtracted. So this is what I would do. I would add, and then once I figure out how much money was in the account and how much was taken away, I would then subtract. So now I'm going to solve and show you how I would do it. And again, you do not have to do it this way. So when I solve, I want to know how much money is either in the account or going into it. So she had $80 in the beginning. Then she's going to put in another $50. So that means that would be a positive $130. Now I'm going to take what was taken away. So what money was subtracted? Well, $24.75, and then another $60.50. I'm adding this together because I want to see how much total was taken away from her account. So I'm going to add this. Notice I lined up decimals again. So $85.25 were taken out of her account. So that was taken out. Now that I've done that, I know I need to subtract these. There was 130 at one point. Now I want to take out the $85.25, and I'm going to write that over here. $130 minus $85.25. I need to borrow, so I'm going to come over to this 3, make it a 2. And I'm going to change everything until I get back to this last part. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 2 is 7. Carry down the decimal. 9 minus 5 is 4. And here I have 12 minus 8, which is 4. So our final answer is going to be $44.75. Now again, for the sake of time, I'm not going to do the actual math and check it, but what we could do is we could say, okay, $44.75 plus $85.25. If I add those together, does it give me $130? So that's a way we could work backwards to make sure that we did our math correctly. Alright, this is going to conclude our video. Make sure that you answer the U-Tries in PlayPosit. Make sure you have everything recorded in your spiral, and we will see you in class tomorrow.